Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a presentation, an exploded view for the Automovlox T9 truck. First thing you want to do is open up your remote server. Once you're in the remote server, you want to immediately open up a Chrome window and log into Canvas so that you can access the Automoblox files. You don't have to create anything new as far as 3D modeling. You're just going to use a pre-made assembly of the Automoblox T9 truck, and you're going to create an exploded view presentation with that and then a drawing off of that. So we're going to open up Chrome window. We're going to log into Canvas. Okay, now we're logged into Canvas. In Canvas, I want you to go to Files, and there's a folder called Automoblox. I want you to download that entire folder. And what it's going to do, it's going to create a zip file of this folder. It's going to take a little bit of time. And it's compressing the file to make it easier to download, and you're going to have to unzip it into your downloads folder to access it. So once it's done, go ahead and double click on it and say extract all, and you want to make sure it's in your downloads folder and say extract. And there it is. Okay, so you can close this folder, you can close this folder, you can minimize this, and we're going to go into Autodesk Inventor. Now that we have all the files we're going to need on our computer, we can access them easily from Autodesk Inventor. You get the license file, you guys know what to do. I've been getting this less and less the more I use the server, so I'm hoping you guys are experiencing the same thing. Okay, this is the first time we've used a presentation file. It looks a lot like all the other Autodesk Inventor files, but it's going to allow us to do this exploded view, which is kind of cool. So we're going to click on Presentation. We're going to open up a new presentation. Wait for Autodesk to catch up with us. Now, when you open up a presentation, it wants a part. It wants assembly file to present, so we have to tell it where the assembly file is. So this dialog window is going to come up first. So go ahead and pull down your menu, go into your downloads, click in this folder, and there's the Automoblox. It's the T9. We're going to open the T9. So when you open this, this isn't the home view. Click home view and you see that it's upside down and sideways, and so what we're going to do is we're going to relocate it the way we want it. Usually better at this. Oops. Okay. Right there. That's the corner I want. And then I'm going to say set current view as home. Fit to view. That way I have this easily done, and I don't need to worry about it. We're going to move this thing around a lot. I don't want to have to worry about it going to the right angle. We want to actually bring it into the drawing file in this isometric view, so we want to make sure that this is our home view. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what's called tweaks. Tweaks allow us to move parts. There's a little dialog window there you can read. And as we move these parts, it's going to record how we move them down here in this presentation so that we can see an animation of it. So when you break apart this T9, I know a lot of you did not use a T9 yesterday when you did your structural analysis. That's okay. We're just going to use the T9 because it's available in Autodesk to the same level of the breakdown you did yesterday in the structural analysis is what we're going to do today. So we're not going to break apart all the little parts inside the axles that were glued in. We're going to leave all of that together. We're going to do the same level of break apart we did yesterday. So let's start with this. So you can look in the browser here, and you can see all the different parts, and you can see where they're at. I'm going to use the browser to start my tweaks, just because it's easier for me that way. So I'm going to say tweak components. Now when you tweak components, you have this dialog. The first thing you want to do is where it says all components here, create trails for all components. We do not want trails. Trails just make it look dirty. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we want to do this part. I'm going to actually use a window, and I'm going to select everything up here in the front, because I want to move the whole front out together. So we're going to grab it. I want to move it in front of the vehicle. So I'm going to grab this arrow, and I'm just going to pull it out to a good distance, wherever you think it's appropriate. And then I'm going to hit OK. And if I look at it, it pulled this little socket out. I don't want that socket. I want that socket back in the wood part, because we didn't take that out yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say tweak component. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say I want to move that back over to where it was, and I can flip my view to make sure that I get it back to where it was. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get it lined up there and say, okay, that's where I want that. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the back. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say tweak components, and I'm going to select, try to get a window around all of this, which is not going to be easy to do. No, let's see. I don't want everything. Cancel that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the browser here. So I want the back or the bed. So I'm going to hit Shift, or sorry, excuse me, I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to click on the bed, and then I'm going to click on Wheel 4, and I'm going to click on Wheel 1. Tweak component, and I'm going to grab the arrow and I'm going to pull it back. Oops, I didn't get the axles. Cancel that. Try it again. So I'm going to click bed, control. I want those two axles. I want axles 3 and 4, and then wheels 4 and 1. I don't know why they didn't match up the wheels, but it is what it is. Pull that back, and we got everything. Cool. But again, that socket came out, so I'm going to say check. I like that. And then I'm going to tweak component. I'm going to grab that socket, and I can pick which axis I want to move it on. I want to move it back in there. I'm going to flip my view around, make sure I got it. Yeah, it looks good. And then I'm going to hit check. There we go. So now I'm going to move my windshield up. So I can just click on the windshield. So I'm going to tweak component. I want to move the windshield up, and I'm going to go a little psychedelic here. And I'm going to move it over a little bit. Come on. Come on. You can do this. There you go. Just get it out of the way a little bit. Hit OK. Now I'm going to move my 4 wheels out. So I can say tweak component. You want to click on the wheel assembly in the browser, because there's a lot of parts in the wheel, and it just makes it easier to click on the assembly. So I'm going to say this wheel, I'm going to move out about that far, and then check it off. Tweak component, I'm going to move this wheel. I don't want to do that, just click the whole thing. This axis, I want to move it out about that far again. And then check it off. Tweak component, I want to move this wheel out here. About the same distance, about 3.8 or so. And then check that off. And then tweak component, I want to move the last wheel, click on that, and say I want to move this wheel this way. So you can click on items to move them, or you can click them on the browser to tweak them. Works both ways. Last thing I got to tweak, because yesterday we took apart our connectors. So I'm going to tweak this connector. I'm going to move it between the passenger section and the front. And I'm going to check that off. And I'm going to move the other connector. Click on that in the browser. I'm going to move it that way. There we go. So there is our exploded view. What's kind of cool is you can... I'm going to close these two parts. I don't know why I open those two. Down here, I can say play, and it will do an animation of my tweak. Now, it will show me moving the sockets back. That's okay. unavoidable. Well, it's not really unavoidable. I could have unchecked them in the browser if I'm really getting that picky, but it doesn't matter if it takes a little extra time to do it. Just want to get that exploded view. And there you go. So when you're done with this, make sure you File, Save As. You want to call it T9, save it in your Downloads folder. You want to call it T9 Exploded View, and save it. There you go. There's your exploded view drawing. Have fun with this. It's pretty cool things you can do with this. Again, you can select on things by clicking on them. You can select on things in the browser. You can edit tweaks by opening this tweaks folder and looking at all your different tweaks. You can edit them. If you want to enter in the distances to make fixed distances all around, that's fine. I just wanted you guys to practice moving things around in this presentation view. And you can play with the animation as well. You can change the times for each animation on the tweaks itself. It's pretty cool. Have fun with it.